Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve.
Let's do it. We're just raw dogging the podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve. My name is Joel.
And I'm Steve.
And this is a podcast.
It is a podcast.
What were you saying?
I've been preparing all morning.
Oh, what do you got?
Nothing.
Me too. Nothing. Zero. Nilch.
I have a couple things, I suppose.
I was reading about the horrific stuff going on in Gaza, and I was like, maybe you and I, two completely unaware, should talk about one of the most complicated problems going on in the world today.
It's really sad and horrible, and it seems
awful.
Something it's beyond comprehension, and it's also way above my pay grade. Other than that, generally speaking, I'm against horrific abuses of humanity.
Yeah, I'm against terroristic violence. I'm also against imperialistic occupation. Yeah, and and strategically bombing hospitals. I'm against that too.
Yeah, see, that's not what Jesus would do.
I'm gonna stop myself right there.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I. We got to get the band back together.
One time, Steve and I had a band for a couple weeks called Wall of Forever.
That's right.
And it was probably the greatest band never to leave my basement.
That's right. The best band you've never heard in your life.
I haven't picked up my guitar in a long time.
That's too bad. You've had other things going on.
Yeah, but still, it's such a nice thing to do.
It is. Why don't you just always have it out by your chair?
Because I'm rarely down here because my dog is not used to the basement and thinks it's just her, her Mad Max Terror Dome.
So the dog's running your house is what you're saying.
Steve, you have no idea how much.
Oh, I do. I have a general concept as a dog owner for most of my life, on and off.
I had a meeting with my boss at the top of the semester and told him that I got a dog, and he looked at me like dead ass right in the face, was like, I have a conspiracy about dogs. And I was like, okay, let's hear it.
About dogs as a concept?
Yeah, dogs. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, I believe that they are tricking us. That they can. You've seen dogs that can smell somebody about to have a seizure, that can open doors and open cans and do things for folks that are not physically able to do it. And he's like, they can pick up their own poop. They just choose not to. They just choose not to. They just look at us and they're like, I'm going to trick this sad son of a bitch. I'm going to trick him into picking up my own feces.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Well,
and every time I pick up my dog's poop, I'm like, you bastard.
Then there's Sonny the pug, who's kind enough to just take care of that for us by eating it.
Yeah, dude, my dog loves poop.
Uh-huh.
Not her own.
Oh, other poop?
Goose poop, rabbit poop.
Oh, yeah. It's like
other dogs.
It's like
poop.
Treat pellets.
You know how many times nobody told me how often I would be removing poop from my dog's mouth.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. When I was a kid, one of our neighbors had a poodle that would shit and then roll in it. Seriously. Like, get it all over himself. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Sonny just eats it.
Her own?
Yeah. Anybody's.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just irresistible.
I guess.
Smells too.
That's, I think I've told you this story. maybe on the pod. So if it's a repeat, forgive me. But I was walking through Home Depot looking for something, having a conversation with somebody about this exact topic. And it was kind of late at night, and this guy, the Home Depot employee, was up on one of those lifts getting something down for us.
Yeah.
And he was overheard the conversation, and he's just coming down. And he's like, I couldn't help listening to you guys, and I wanted to just share a little wisdom with you, unsolicited, of course. And we're like, yeah, hit me. He goes, some dogs eat poop. I'm like,
thank you, sir.
pretty much. He's like, you're welcome. Here's your thing. Have a nice night. But it was like the clouds parted, the sun shone down, and the wisdom was bestowed upon us from on high. Some dogs eat poop. It's as true as the sky is blue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Accept it now.
Pretty much.
The only suffering you're going to feel from that is if you try to resist.
Yes.
That.
That's what he was saying. It was like the Buddha spoke.
There is suffering.
There is suffering. And
so the first noble truth 1.A is some dogs eat poop.
Some dogs eat poop. That's correct. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm lucky enough to have one of those dogs.
Yep. When we had the chickens, and the chickens spent most of their time in like the run, it wasn't as big of a deal. But when we moved to the new place and the chickens were just like in the yard, so it was like an all you could eat buffet. Sonny just followed the chickens around. It was so disgusting.
Yeah, I could see Maven going ham.
Ugh.
Well, we were walking at Pioneers Park yesterday.
I feel like we're off to a great start.
Yeah. This is perfect. This is keeping me from talking about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
God.
But we were walking around Pioneers Park, and there was, one of the ponds has been, taken over by geese and ducks. And Maven was just, it was a comedy routine because Kirsten and I were like, leave it. And like, it's a win-win for her because either she gets to eat poop or if she leaves it, she gets a treat. So it's like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Oh,
I didn't know. Nobody fucking told me.
Nobody told you there'd be days like these?
Nobody told me that there would be days like poop. Poop days. Poop
days. Every day is poop day.
Every day is poop day when you're Maven. That's so Maven.
Yeah. Oh my God. Is that a new sitcom on the WB?
In my mind, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you the comedic foil, or are you the beleaguered husband?
I'm the beleaguered husband for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Kirsten is the
beleaguered and buffoon-like.
Yeah.
You have to be just a buffoon moron that's, kind of cuddly and, oh, isn't that sweet? He's such an idiot.
Yeah. And isn't it funny when he loses his mind that dog's doing a dog thing?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And the laugh track is playing.
Exactly. Yep.
And I'm
where are my pants?
Honey. Yeah. Why is the dog eating poop in our house?
Oh, Joel. Laugh
to
track.
The moon.
That's right. To the moon, Maven.
I read, speaking of the honeymooners, I read something where there was originally that was like a stage play, and the original writers had Alice. She actually had way more power and stood up to him way more.
Oh, really?
But when it went to TV, they were like, we can't have that. So it became really abusive.
Yeah.
Sorry to rain on that parade.
No, it's fine. Well, Art Carney dealt with it by being shit-faced most of the time.
What? Say that again. My dog is calling at the door. Oh, yeah. Right.
So did Mike. What was the dad on the Brady Bunch? Like, he was tanked most of the time they were shooting that.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You should read about that. It's kind of sad and funny. Because, like, he was like a guy. He was an actor. Like, he was a Shakespearean actor.
Mm.
And he, took the deal with the devil.
Yeah.
To make a lot of money being Mike Brady.
Yeah.
And it drove him crazy, and he was just drunk all the time on set. See, that's the difference between like a functional heavy drinker and me. Because how long did the honeymooners or the Brady Bunch run?
I don't know.
Like a long time.
Yeah.
Years anyway. I would have made it in like the first 3 episodes probably, and then be like, we got to get somebody else.
Yeah, he just threw up in every take.
Right. Yeah.
He's breaking props
I'd be
faster than
like,
we can
look
buy them.
like Billy Bob Thornton in Bad Santa in the scene where he's kicking the reindeer and stuff in front of the kids.
I'd be like, all Joel wants to do is just sit on the prop couch and cry and recite Hamlet.
That's right. Exactly.
And we can't turn that into an episode. So we got
see, that's the thing. Yeah. Jan, what, Marcia? Dad's drunk again.
Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul to his own conceit? Like that would be me.
I don't know. I think he's reciting shit. Oh, fuck, he's drunk again.
I'm like, how do we monetize this?
Right. Well, it would just be called the see, that was where it would get meta, and it would be a show about the show, like the Gary Shandling show or something like that.
God, yeah, let's make that show.
I think that's $1 million idea. You heard it here first, folks. This is now trademarked, copyrighted.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It'll be like, I think, okay, well, let's start working on that. Get that Lambo money rolling in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go for it.
Well,
you got things.
I don't know if I have things, but I've been a denizen of the Zoo Bar for the last couple nights.
Do we need to talk about that? Is it
no,
is it a barbershop situation, Steve, or no?
I don't. No vicarious pleasure. But there was a couple. I actually just kind of by coincidence, I suppose, there was just two. The Jerry pranksters are hanging it up after 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go down and check those dudes out, and it was great, man. I walked in and the fucking Zoo Bar was packed Friday night.
Good.
Packed.
Good.
And
Good.
Yeah, it was just awesome. They were great. They were a 4-piece. And it just sounded awesome, and everybody's in good spirits, and they were playing good, and it was just, a real good time as always,
Yeah.
And they were just felt good,
Yeah.
And Hardy Holm came up and sang Day Tripper.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, he played harmonica and just killed it. Hardy loves the Beatles, and so that was fun. And I've made a couple this couple. I'm again gonna not use names just because they don't know I'm talking about them, but they're cool. He's a radio DJ, and so he travels around a lot. It's the whole get kind of tired of packing and unpacking, town to town, up and down the. Every time I talk to him, that's what I think about. WKRP in Cincinnati, everyone. Anyway,
Cincinnati.
Anyway, so he and his wife were there, and they're they do the secret meeting thing, and I've just kind of met them recently, and they're super cool people, and they happened to be there. He's ahead, and he in fact is the guy that turned me on to this whole Grateful Dead studies thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And we got to talking. It's like it's well documented. Like I know a lot about the Grateful Dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're like the all-time champion of Guess the Year, dude.
Exactly. And so like we're kind of talking, and he is like next level Grateful Dead nerdery.
Higher than you?
I think so, yeah. In a different way. That's the joy of that whole situation. Yeah, so it's very you can nerd out in a lot of different ways.
What avenues do you have to take in order to get a different level of nerdery than
he went at UCal Santa Cruz. There's actual Grateful Dead archives. Like it's a serious endeavor, right? And they have the list is pretty extensive. In fact, he said he went to go read through Dick Lotvalla's notes.
Oh wow.
Right. So they have like notes from all of the business meetings. They had monthly business meetings and like all of that stuff. It's never ending. And but I said, so how do you can you just go there? And he's like, well, you can, but you really need to know why you're going there because there's so much stuff that you'll just get overwhelmed.
Mm.
And he went there specific. It's kind of like a library. Like it's like it's an archive. It's an archive. You check out whatever you want to look at. And he went specifically to go look at all of Dick Lotball's notes for like the Dick's Picks series and that kind of thing.
Wow.
For those of you that don't know who Dick Lotball is, he was the first official paid keeper of the tapes for the Grateful Dead for all the recordings.
I'm curious, when did they start? When did they realize they wanted to start?
I don't remember the exact timeline, but it was probably in the mid 80s.
Oh wow. I would have thought that maybe it was mid to late 70s, but they're
No.
like, oh, we should keep record. We should hold on to this stuff.
Well, they had tapes, but they were just kept at their offices or at Club Front. And Willie Legate, who was kind of the janitor guy, was the keeper.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's David Gans. When I talked with him on the Guest of the Year show, he said the first time that the band granted him access to the vaults to do the Grateful Dead hour, Willie Legate, who was, he just kind of lived there,
Wow.
Yeah. And he kind of kept, he had no training or anything. He was just the guy that lived at Club Front or wherever the archives were. And he just basically, like, David knocked on the door and Willie let him in and was like, well, here, it's all here. And then he just kind of walked off, that's the level of like organization,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Dick had developed a relationship with the Dead, and they realized that he lived in Hawaii. But he was one of the first hardcore tape trader people, like mailing reel-to-reel tapes across the country, across the water from, he was really like one of the original Dead freaks. And, when they wanted to get somebody, I think that, he was kind of at the top of the list just because he was so obsessive and knowledgeable.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, what was the point? Oh yeah, so this guy went to UC Santa Cruz and checked out Dick's art, and he's working on a project sifting through all of those notes.
What is his goal? What's the end game there?
I'm not sure. We haven't gotten that far in the conversation.
Yeah, it's
the thing that,
like, what thread is he trying to find?
The thing that he was talking
because the
about,
meeting notes from like our monthly meetings in my department, like that would be horrible.
Right. No, he was looking through specifically Dick's notes, not the business meeting notes. He's talking about one of the things he brought up is that Dick had a category of music that he called the brain fry. And it's not really published anywhere. Like, I've never heard that term before from Dick, but it's something on his private notes that it's like a type of jam, of zeitgeist, if you will, that was around for, I think, most of the 30 years ish. Again, this is kind of a new thing to me, but anyway, so he's kind of diving into what is the brain fry. Like, what did Dick mean by that?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's what I'm saying. And like, that's just that's just like a little thing. Like the business, I've read some of the notes from the business meetings. So sometimes they'll pop up on Reddit and that kind of thing. And they're very interesting. Sometimes it's just really mundane stuff, but talking about setting up the Rex Foundation and doing benefits for Rex, and like, well, are we going to try to do that part of the tour? Are we going to try to tour Russia? Like those kinds of things. Like, it's pretty. They actually had semi-regular business meetings where the band and the crew and everybody in the board of directors would sit at the office in the conference room in Club Front Street and
argue about what coffee to buy.
Kind of, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. No. It was really actually fairly weirdly, after a while, pretty businesslike.
Yeah. Well, there's a business there. There's money flowing in and money
multi-million-dollar a year organization. Like, you kind of have to, and Garcia loved all of that.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, I loved it. Good times.
I tangentially, I'm curious if that archive, it probably would be a different deal. But when I was in Santa Cruz for visiting family when they lived there, my Kirsten's sister, and I was like, got curious, and I did some like, very amateur Googling of like where were Santa Cruz acid tests held. And I want to say I found out that one of the first, or if not the first, acid test happened in Santa Cruz, but I could be wrong.
Possible. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
and
all
it's like,
happened in that general neck of the woods.
yeah. And I definitely did find a thread of people talking about this one location, and I went to that location. It's an apartment complex now, of course,
Sure.
but that was pretty interesting to kind of be right in that
It's kind of like
space.
going to visiting, the Civil War battle sites.
Yeah,
That level
exactly.
of like historical significance.
Yeah, there's some bodies buried here in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
So there
Some
was
egos buried here.
yeah, totally. But there was there was that, and so that was all very enjoyable. And then last night I went back down to the zoo bar because I wanted to check out this band RADO from Denver and the Midland Band from Lincoln.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. I've never seen the Midland Band, and I now am. I just like to state on the record that I'm remiss. I've been blowing it, as is everybody that hasn't seen the Midland Band. You need to quit screwing around and go see the Midland Band.
Okay.
Because they're amazing. They're very, this is what I was thinking about as I was driving home. Like I've always kind of, ever since I saw the disco, ever since I was forced to see the Disco Biscuits at Red Rocks,
Yeah.
like I just have had a hard time. I've put up a block to the whole like EDM like jam band trip.
Oh, yeah.
Only with, guitars.
Yeah.
I just don't I don't know. I like Tennessee Jed, and I like really weird spacey music.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's it's like a gateway to Sound Tribe 69 or something. What is it? Sound Tribe
Sector 9.
Sector 969.
Yeah.
That's a different deal.
Come on, Joel. But yeah,
Get your head out of the gutter, Joel.
But so the deal there was that RADO from Denver was supposed to open for the Midland Band, but the Midland Band's like keyboard player / multi-instrumentalist person / I think kind of ringleader, maybe, again I don't know really anything about him, was sick and couldn't make the gig. So the Midland Band ended up opening the show. They switched places, which is cool. And then they played as a 3-piece. So just drums, bass, guitar. And they were amazing. Like
nice.
if somebody didn't say, yeah, they're missing their keyboard player, multi-instrumentalist dude, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
It was, because it was like when you're playing as kind of a wounded animal, you step up your game,
Yeah, you have to be efficient in other ways.
Yes, and they were all very dynamic, very powerful, very high degree of general musicality, all while maintaining that,
So that's what I was curious, like why you brought up the EDM vibe, like that's
because that's the way the whatever jam band scene has moved over the last 20 years.
I mean, I would argue though, and I need to also admit something publicly.
Oh boy.
I need to state something.
Okay.
It's been brought to my attention based on the internet algorithm that I have listened to enough of the band Goose this year that they have beat out the band Tool on my Spotify Wrapped. So
nobody cares. Nobody
cares about my Spotify Wrapped, but I find it interesting that I am I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna check out Goose here and there.
Right. Now you've listened to a shitload of them.
Fuck a load of Goose. And I'm here to say they're legit.
They're great. Yeah.
But I don't hear that. I mean, I feel like if anything, the geese are, I think they're taking the mantle from, or not, they're not taking the mantle. Fish is doing fish as Fish has always done Fish, but I can tell that they were inspired by Fish more than anything.
A little bit.
Yeah. Like he's got the same fucking guitar as Trey,
same tone,
right?
Exactly. So that it's a little derivative.
It is derivative, but
I'm not necessarily knocking them because it's cool. And I that when we went to that festival last summer, and Goose was one of the headliners. The guy with the T-shirt that just said, "I'm still not 100% convinced about Goose." It was so funny, because that was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that does sound a lot like Fish. but
they're just
they have their own thing.
they do.
Yes.
They don't. I mean, they don't have like this. They don't have a silly. If anything, they're kind of emulating later Fish, where Fish I think got a little more earnest,
Maybe,
which I don't love. Right? Like I like the weird, the lizards fish. I like the Gamehenge fish.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? And
well, it's just like
anyway.
I like 1969 Grateful Dead.
Yeah, right.
But so anyway, point taken. And yes, I'm fine. Goose is fine. I would go see them if they came to Omaha, probably. Yeah. I don't know. I do like them. Whatever. Back to last night. So Midland band slayed.
Yeah,
like they were awesome. And I feel like an idiot for not putting more effort into going to see them more or supporting them or whatever. Because I've heard their name for quite a while now, just I haven't been going to shows. So anyway, and then this RADO from Denver, they looked like when they walked on stage, I'm like, did Leonard Skinner get back together?
Oh no.
It was like if Skinner and the Disco Biscuits had a baby, it would be RADO.
Oh wow. That's fun.
And I say that like, yeah, I mean, they're like hairy dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And then the drummer looks like a frat boy jock. He's
Sweet.
like built and,
yeah.
And that's good for him because he played the drums like a beast,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very much that like not much singing and a whole lot of
But this is all done. All of the umcha or whatever, cats and boots and cats and boots and
cats and yeah.
All of that is done organically, or do they have like a beat?
No, it's all done with instruments. Okay. Not done by, other than like the electronic keyboards and guitar effects and that.
So it's
playing the music.
So it's like real. Well, I don't want to get into an argument about disco, but it is like real instrumental disco. It's jam disco.
It's jam EDM disco. Yes. Yeah, it's 100%.
EDM, so when you say EDM, I mean, that's kind of what I think of. Like, it has to be synthesized computer music.
Yes,
for lack of a better term, it has to be non-organic.
Made by computers on a laptop using samples and electronic drums and loops. Yeah. And I guess that maybe I'm miscategorizing, but it's like rave. It's like house music played by instruments.
Yeah, I mean EDM. When you say EDM, it's like God as a pronoun, right? Like you say God so that everybody understands what you're saying. But EDM, that makes sense. Like people know that.
It's just easier to say, the music that goes
instead of embarrassing yourself by doing the 20 times like you've done on the podcast thus far. Or?
I feel attacked all of a sudden. What the fuck, man?
I just can't wait to listen to playback on that.
I hope it sounds okay.
Sometimes, I hope somebody, you know what? If somebody out there could sample Steve's
and make something,
that
I love it. I'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, did anybody email for stickers?
Nope.
Nobody wants these fucking stickers.
Nobody wants. It's like I know it's free. They must be desperate.
It would make a great stocking stuffer, everybody.
Yeah, give a couple to your kids.
Hell, why do I have it's a sweet sticker though.
It's pretty cool, yeah. Y'all are missing out. Like literally, we're just throwing stickers out to the crowd and people are just letting them lay there.
We should just slap them around town. That's what we should
That's a good idea. Little guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Shit, I could have put some on the wall at the zoo bar last night.
Oh,
in the bathroom, even.
In the bathroom.
Right above the urinal.
That would have been the right place for it.
That's what I'm saying. Jesus.
I guess we'll have to go back to the zoo bar. Speaking of the zoo bar, Ferocious Jungle Cat's playing a show in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Stoked for that.
I'll be there for that. Yep. And that's like, so they, and so that's what I was thinking about that last night because they sort of kind of follow into that, but they're on a, not exactly like they have a different thing happening, but it's a very high energy instrumental kind of funk jazz based.
Yeah. Right on.
Dance party,
Yeah.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. True.
And so that's, I mean, the Midland band smoked the zoo bar last night to all 20 of us.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And how long they're local and they've been around for
They're
just
from
a minute.
Columbus, but they live in Lincoln now. And I don't know. Again, I like this is all just a new thing to me. I bought one of their
Interesting.
t-shirts. Um,
I wonder what the. I mean, I have some roots in Columbus. I'm
yeah, you
interested.
do. Jake
Yeah.
Reesdorf is the dude that
Nah,
didn't
that's
make
not
it
ringing
last
a
night.
bell.
Anyway, yeah, they're great. Love them. And also, and I didn't stick around for all of our ADO because I had things to do this morning, but I saw about half hour of their show, and
Mhm.
they were great. It was like one of those things where like, you have to do the quick stage change, get their stuff up to a quick sound check,
Yeah.
and then they just kind of launched into it. And uh it was it's one of those deals where, and I appreciated, like, they weren't putting a whole lot of effort into entertaining, they just started
Yeah.
laying down the groove.
Yep.
And once they like settled in and got warmed up, then the smiles started coming out and started to
Mm-hmm.
see the personalities, and they're just really
Mm-hmm.
goofy fuckers, dropping some serious danceable rhythm psychedelia. Like, they're great. I
Yeah.
big fan of RADO. So I like, that's it. All kind of comes to the point being that the kids are all right.
Good.
And they had,
Yeah.
it's like back to Goose. It's like, oh yeah, this is really familiar. And it doesn't seem like a bad thing. Like, this seems okay. In fact, whoa, hey, whoa, yeah, keep doing that. You know?
Yeah. I have hesitated with the Goose on their, which is weird, on their live stuff. I've just really listened to their studio stuff,
Really?
specifically. Yeah, I don't know why.
Hmm.
Their most recent studio record I really love a lot. And then
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get on, re-listen and check out some shows, and then I'm like blown away.
Yeah, I listened to all of that show you sent me yesterday from
Yeah.
Belgium, when I was
And did
just
you
doing stuff
at the
around the
beginning,
house.
one of the, I don't even know the guy's name, but he's like, yeah, this is the smallest show we've played in a long time. Like, they're playing, and it sounds like a little club in Belgium,
Right. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, and it's freaking amazing.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'm coming out of the closet as far as Goose goes. I'm a
Are
fan of.
you are you you're convinced about Goose?
I think I might be convinced about Goose.
Yeah, I need to go see them again because I know I've talked about this before. We went and saw they were playing this festival, and like, it had been a long day and we were way too up close, which is just weird to say that, but it was so stupidly loud and the mix
Yeah.
was kind of weird, and it was just like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
you
It-
know.
that's a hard thing, especially if you're not, it's like if it's not your destination and you're at a
Yeah.
festival, it's kind of like meh,
Nah.
meh. Like, I went to a festival and saw, and I've gone back and listened to them again, and I really like their vibe. But I was at uh the what is that? The Outlandia Festival,
Oh, uh-huh.
the first one,
Uh-huh.
and Silver Sun Pickups played, and it was hot,
Oh
and I
yeah,
was
you
like,
talked about that.
I want a sandwich. I just need water, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I get that.
they were great though. Like, the music appreciator within me was like, this is awesome, but the human in me was like, I want to go home.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I appreciate that on a very
Like,
deep
where's
level.
Wilco? I want to go home.
That's so
Wilco
there's a
though.
festival coming up in May called the Greenbelt Music Festival, and it's
Mm-hmm.
in Clive, Iowa, which I think is Des Moines-ish.
Cool.
But the Midland Band is on the bill in small type, but they're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
The headliners are Humphreys McGee and Railroad Earth and Yonder Mountain String Band.
That'll suck.
Yeah, it'll be awful. So I think I might try to go to that May 17th and 18th in Clive, Iowa. Go
Yeah, if that's
support,
anywhere near
go
Des Moines, Des
support,
Moines fucks, dude.
go support our local heroes, the Midland Band, and see some Humphreys McGee.
I am taking the role of the dice on a band I've never seen live and only gotten into because I saw they were playing at a time when I'm going to be in Denver.
Uh-huh.
And tickets were $20. And I think I
Yeah.
may have mentioned this to you. I was like, either go see Dead Floyd up in Boulder or go
Yeah,
see
yeah.
this band. And I'm like, I'm going to go see Couch. This band
Couch.
called Couch. They're like power pop funk.
I'm in it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, they're like yeah, they're power pop funk and they're fun. So,
That's going to be a blast.
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. I'm stoked for Couch.
Couch. Are you stoked? Do you have your Andy Frasco ticket yet?
No, I don't, Steve.
dude. Fine. You know what? Don't go see Andy Frasco.
Don't have fun.
Yeah, don't have the best time you've ever had with your clothes mostly on.
Or off.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was telling this dude last night. Oh, I made a new friend last night. His name is Dan, and
Nice.
we were both flying solo, and we happened to be sitting next to us, so we started talking. We happened to be sitting next to each other. I'm gonna try to enunciate more clearly.
You're doing fine, man. People get it.
But anyway, I said he'd never heard of Andy Frasco. I said, look, dude,
Yeah.
I want to have Andy Frasco's babies.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but you got to see him. Did you tell him
that's
to
what
see
I'm
him?
saying. You have to go see the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I need to see more bands, but yet I also don't want to leave the house.
Right. That's, I have cats now, and
Yeah, it's a real conundrum.
it is. Yeah. I really, I sent you dudes the meme of, to me 10 years from now, just sitting in a Barca lounger with 10 cats and a blanket napping.
Yep.
I'm like, life goals.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Then occasionally venture out to go see some music.
Yeah, we left the house for the first time with Maven outside of the kennel yesterday.
Uh-huh.
It's a big day. I had visions in my catastrophic thinking of driving up our street upon returning, seeing the house in flames.
Oh, that's a big moment. Uh-huh.
She was fine. She was just sleeping on her bed.
Yeah, good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's fine. She's a good girl.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
It took me a minute to realize what you were saying. Was Maven. I knew Maven was sick, so you left the house with. Then you and Kirsten left Maven alone in the house
outside of the kennel.
Outside of the kennel, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's a big step.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, just in case everybody's really waiting with bated breath about,
it's
all I want to talk about, man.
Well, this is the pet podcast. So yesterday I set up my stereo and like my turntable and receiver and stuff. And I said the only thing that's happened with the cats in terms of it's not even really damaged, but I got woke up because I have one of those, now playing things to set my record in, the record sleeve.
Yep.
And I got woke up sometime in the night by this crash, and I'm like, what happened? So I go out there, and one of the cats just knocked that whole thing over onto the floor.
Uh-oh.
So I won't be. The record was fine. It was it just made a racket.
A racket.
And so I went padding out there and saw that. I'm like, oh, okay. And I went back to bed.
As long as they don't use a shelf of records as a scratching post.
The thing is, I got them some scratching posts, and they actually used them.
That's good. So
they like the scratching posts. They have found their way to get that out of their system in a way that doesn't destroy the things that I care about. And
good.
Yeah. Although one of them has discovered that they can climb up me using their claws in my clothes.
Yeah.
So I got to break them of that habit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's also like, no, that's not a thing that
I think that once they become full-grown cats, though, they'll cut that out.
I hope so. I mean, that's a thing. Like, if anybody has any tips on how to keep cats from doing things that you don't want them to do that they want to do, I'm open to hear them. Email me and I'll send you a sticker.
That's, I think, the discrepancy. I mean, there's a few, but one of them is that cats don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
Like dogs, you can train because they're mostly
they want to please
food, you. Food motivated, right? So like you can hack their dopamine.
Right.
Cats,
they're like, whatever,
dude. I don't care.
That's right.
I shit where you tell me to shit.
Yes, that's the deal.
That's the deal.
I didn't even tell them to shit there. They just like, oh, that's where I shit. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then the rest of it is like, look, I'm not going to shit any place but that box, but the rest of it, whatever. I may be good. I may not be good. There is no good or bad. Right.
Like
there's only me.
I don't operate inside of the confines of your moral structure.
That's right.
So I'm going to do me. You can do you. I'm here. I may need you for warmth. I obviously need you for food.
Yeah.
You can pet me sometimes, sometimes not. I'm not, there's no rhyme or reason with that.
If it pleases me.
If it pleases me, you can touch me. Otherwise, I'm going to bite you.
Right. Yeah.
And there's no rhyme or reason for this. I can't be nailed down.
No. So I was talking to our friend and past guest Dave yesterday about his cats, and his cats are indoor outdoor cats.
That's wild, man.
I know, like they just leave and then they come back if after X amount of time, and one of them has like a place in the kitchen window where it'll sit to be seen, and the other one will sit and like mule at the door. And I'm like, that's so weird to me that they just do that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I feel like that makes me nervous.
I could see how that would be a little nerve-wracking living in an urban environment, but like that was kind of the case when I lived out in the middle of nowhere. You know, our cat would catch birds midair and bring them to our doorstep and stuff. It was awesome.
Right.
And it makes sense out there because it's not like a highly trafficked area.
Well, yeah, but there's coyotes.
Yep, there are coyotes for
and foxes
sure.
and things, you know.
Yeah.
Not that there aren't here.
True.
But
yeah,
I mean
like
there are birds here, but I'm just saying, like, how, like, since cats are so, apparently they're not completely indifferent because like they come back unless they get killed, I guess is how that works.
Well, it's a steady food source and warmth.
That's true. Yeah.
You know
they know where to go for that. That's true.
Yeah. That's domesticated, right?
Right. Sure. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's feral cats, dude, that don't want to have anything to do with human beings.
People, right? Yeah.
There was and I think there still is, and I think there is like a whole student group dedicated to preserving this. But there was a whole pack of feral cats that live on UNL's campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they used to hang out near in the where all the performing arts buildings are. So like the Lead Center and the art building and the music building and the theater building, they had like dedicated spaces where they would breed and live in that area. So I would see them all the time, but they wanted nothing to do with us.
Right. Yeah.
We're
good.
We're good. Because we know once we start taking that cans of tuna from you guys and then rubbing up on your leg, you're gonna, put us in a kennel and give us shots.
Be like Charles Bukowski and Barfly. Didn't want to live in the golden bar, the golden cage.
Correct. Yeah. So. Yeah, man.
Well, whatever. I'm loving having the cats.
Good.
They're delightful.
I'm glad you have them. I'm glad they have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for rescuing them.
Yeah, everybody go check out the P-Lock Adoption Center in Lincoln.
Yeah,
for your animal adoption needs.
We got Maven from the Beatrice Humane Society. They're amazing. They're a no kill spot. Always a big fan of that. But I saw that the Capitol Humane Society is doing like a drive for like, food and toys and peanut butter and stuff. So check them out. Yeah, don't forget your feline and canine and other friends. Yeah.
Holiday season. And for the love of God, I'll just say it. If you're going to get your kids a puppy for Christmas, it's a commitment.
Dude, if that's the PSA of the week.
Right. Because news for you, it's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work. Yeah. And I'm here for the work, right? Like, don't get my, I love having a dog. Like,
because again, back to point A, the dog's going to probably shit on your floor at some point in time, and then it might eat it or roll in it.
Yes.
Or some combination of all of the above.
This is a whole other podcast, but yes. I will say, having a dog completely changed my life.
Yeah, they do that.
And there's no preparation for that other than the fact that you're down for the journey.
Right. Yeah.
So if you decide like, hey, I'm going to get a dog for my girlfriend, like, yeah, great. Rescue a dog. But
the dog is still a responsibility, even if you break up with your girlfriend.
Correct. And, or if your kids stop feeding it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like
that's,
she's a family member, right? Like she's now
Oh
kind
yeah.
of integrated into our life, but
Hmm.
there is, there's before Maven and there's after Maven in my mind. Like
Yeah.
this is very different. So yeah, dude, yeah, you know, be responsible. Have your pet spayed and neutered too.
Thank you, Bob Barker.
Help control the pet population.
That's right. Very good. Nailed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, did we do it?
Yeah, man. I don't know that we're gonna pod next week. I'm gonna be spreading the gospel of uh the performing arts.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody, you're just gonna have to deal for a week.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, if you guys want reruns put up just to get your TTBB podcast fix in, email me at ttbbpodcast@gmail.com and I'll send you a sticker.
Or slide into my DMs on trying to be better at trying to be better podcast on the old Instagram.
The old Instagram.
We'll talk,
You know why we're not getting the Lambo money? Because we don't have a TikTok feed. We need to invade people's algorithms. We need to create wacky yet compelling content.
I have
we
made
could do like 15-second soundbite things where we just yell at each other about things.
Okay, so that'd be the only way this would work, right? Because
Right.
I've made TikTok videos that I thought were pretty funny.
Uh-huh.
And they've gotten views that I find interesting. Like, 4,000 people saw this video I made of me, But if you really want to break that, that's a whole other like I feel like that's a lot of work. But if we could I guess we'd have to capture the video and we'd have to find sound bites and then put it up there.
Right. Well, we'll just script things that'll look, spontaneous.
God damn. You think we have we don't think we have that kind of time, man.
We don't have that kind of time.
We don't have that kind
of time. But we could literally like do like a topic bomb. Or like a wheel of topics, and then we just rant about it either with or against each other for 15 seconds.
That'd be an interesting like month of if I put out a poll and was like, hey, what's 5 things you want us to talk about, and then we just rolled the dice on those each week.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That'd be scary though. I think somebody would put in like, I really do want to hear Joel and Steve try to navigate the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, or what are your thoughts on late stage abortion, or it's like, fuck, dude, I don't want to
Yeah, well, again, we get to curate that, so we can just sidestep that and do like 7-Up or Slice.
Slice? Does Slice still exist?
I don't know.
I think it's Sierra Mist, and then it's something else.
Right. Yeah.
Slice. Dude, okay. I will say it now. I normally don't like orange flavored things, but I could go for a black can orange slice right about now.
Oh, wow. That stuff kind of tasted like orange Jello.
Yeah. And chemicals and bleach. Yeah. It was great.
Wow. I'm a Fanta guy myself, so. Fanta. Orange Crush. I mean, let's get real.
Orange Crush. Mm-hmm. Wow. That like Orange Crush and chlorine from the pool.
Summertime.
You know what I mean?
Summertime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At the pool in Columbus, the indoor pool, there was a concession machine that had like knockoff Doritos, nacho. Oh God, I think about those all the time. They were so good. They sprinkled a little cocaine in them, I'm pretty sure.
Did your pool have frozen marathon bars?
No, I don't think
that
so.
Was the highlight of my summer and childhood was
marathon bars.
Frozen marathon bars. The braided caramel chocolate thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was great.
Wow.
Well,
thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate you.
Of course. Seriously, we'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, we have stickers.
We'll know where you live, or at least what your mailing address is. So I know there might be a boundary there, but
yeah, if you don't want Steve to show up at your house, get a P.O. box, but we'd love to get you a sticker.
If you go to the hassle of getting a P.O. box, I'll send you 5 stickers.
You heard it here, folks.
5 stickers.
Put up at your local watering bathroom.
Don't sell them on eBay.
Yeah, guys, I know they're a hot commodity, but they're really these we made these for the fans. You know what I mean?
Right. Not for
Not
the
for you to make.
eBayers. Your Lambo
Sign
money.
some. That's it. We should sign some.
We should sign stickers.
Yeah, because that's what people want is stickers for a podcast signed.
Signed.
Yep.
All right, we'll work on that.
All right.
Cool.
Well, have a good summer.
Yeah, you too. Enjoy that Orange Crush and the cracked Doritos.
Oh God, they're so good.
All right, later.
All right, bye.
Don't forget, toot your hooter.